Welcome to the Gaming Golf edition of the Waste Management Open, also known as the WM Open Phoenix, or WM Phoenix Open, where we talk about an unprecedentedly strong field out in Phoenix, especially after last week's come down. And we'll wrap up what happened at Pebble, coming up right after the intro. Hey everybody, welcome to Gaming Golf, the WM Phoenix Open Preview Edition. Guys, how's it going? How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. My kids recovered from the flu. It was not the most exciting weekend here in Texas, but I'm very happy for you. And I'm proud of you for just staying. This is going to be just a golf preview. You're going to stay focused, even as your Bengals prepare just days away. Just to stay laser focused on golf. So I'm excited.
Laser focus is exactly how people describe me all the time, Jeff. It's like my strongest trait. No,
all that time I didn't ask Jeff about the college football championship game because his team lost in the semifinals. Yet he keeps bringing up the Super Bowl. It's just shots fired over there.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to feel. I would imagine it's probably different, but I didn't feel that bad about losing a semifinal. I don't know. It's just different. I mean, the Final Four in college football is still something to celebrate, whereas I don't know, the NFL, it's like
I actually don't either. The hour after the game I did, but then as I looked at that game, saw some stuff, read stats, I think the Rams were a better team, so I'm actually okay with it now.
But it's kind of weird because part of me is like, oh, it should all be like bonus gravy right now. We're a 4 seed, we're a young team on the rise. BS. It's going to hurt.
It's so hard to get there. You got to win when you get there.
Yeah, ask Josh Allen how easy it is to get to the Super Bowl. You know, he didn't even get to the conference championship game despite playing an amazing game. You know, and now we've lost 2 Super Bowls to Scott's stupid team. So and it hurt badly. And I was a kid. I can only imagine what it would be like now. So, anyways, forget about that.
I've had that happen twice in the last 8 years. I can tell you it hurts.
Yeah. Well, I will say, and this is the nicest thing I can do for you, Erickson, is while I come on here and I've had some success picking golf through the course of this podcast, I'm not a very good NFL prognosticator. So this is the best thing I can do for you. I am picking the Rams to win the game. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's all I can do for you.
When I speak of you, I will speak well.
I truly think the Rams will win, and I'm picking them. So you're welcome. That's all I can do for you.
It's your gift. I appreciate it there. You know. We all got to have our gifts. Let's recap a little bit of last week. For a long time, I thought it was going to be the Seamus Power show. Then the weekend happened. Then we thought, it's Cantlay. He's definitely going to run away with it now. He's the big name. Oh, no, it's Spieth. No, wait. It's Tom Hoge all along. And interesting tournament. You know, not a great field, but, man, the weather, the course was gorgeous on Sunday. It was fun to see the coverage. What were your takeaways from the weekend? We'll start with Jeff.
My takeaways was the PGA Tour got about the best it could have hoped for with that field. You know, having Spieth make a run, Cantlay hang around, Spieth cheat death on Saturday. You know, you even had viral moments along the way with the tournament. So I think all in all, given the distraction and, you know, as we've kind of touched on in this podcast, the looming threat of a potential rival league, I think the tour got about as best as it could have hoped for in terms of entertainment, in addition to scenery from Pebble Beach.
I thought the broadcast was better than usual too. I thought they showed more golf and less celebrity interviews with Larry the Cable Guy and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty good. And I don't know, you get a Sunday at Pebble, and Cantlay and Spieth are up there, but I don't really care all that much who's playing as long as it's good players. And it's just so beautiful. It was a beautiful day, and Hoagie's 16 and 17 was really impressive. I mean, it's not like Spieth lost it. I mean, he did have the bogey there, but Hoagie went and won that tournament the last few holes.
Sure did. And it was a good week for you, Scott. Not massive cash, but cashing across the board is good. Yeah. That worked out well. Who was the key to your success?
It was kind of an overall good DraftKings week. I've been really hitting on the cheap and mid guys, and then kind of missing on the top guys, which kind of keeps me from winning a bunch of money. But yeah, I had 2 lineups. They both cashed in tournaments and in cash games. It was kind of hitting the mid guys, the 7,000s, and I forget who it was, but I had I forget who we mentioned, but I can't remember now. But we had a couple guys in the 6s that made the cut. I had a 6-6 and a 5-6. So it was just kind of solid play. Matthew Fitzpatrick was really good. Behazenhout, I'm going to let Jeff say because he does it better, but he ended up in the top 20 also. Just a lot of guys in like he finished like 10th to 25th in there. And it was a nice weekend of cashing. And just, I need to hit those top guys a little better because you got to get the winner or the second place guy to win some real money.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some weeks, like 2 weeks ago, I had the two guys in the playoff, but I also had two guys miss the cut, and I was just barely cashing, and it's not as fun doing that. Let's turn our attention to the WM Phoenix Open. As it's no longer the Waste Management Phoenix Open. They kind of shortened that up just a little bit there. Still the same tournament, still played at Scottsdale, TPC Scottsdale, fun course. I think shots gained approach is going to be the key to this course again, like every other week. But at any rate, what do we expect generally from this tournament?
I mean, I like off the tee too a lot. I think this is a course this is like classic desert golf. It rewards power. It certainly approaches. I had to dig it out what Koepka did last year. He has the power game, but he also only missed 10 greens all week. And of course, he had a hole out for eagle on the 17th hole. It kind of just clinched it for him in the end. So I think it's that classic mix of power can be rewarded, but if you've got the precision going along with it, now you're talking about the combo that's ready to win this week.
Yeah, I shift a little more towards ball striking rather than approach, more be from a normal tournament, but it's just a fun tournament. It's a great field. We have 18 of the top 30 here. It's just fun leading up to Sunday in the Super Bowl. It's a fun tournament. 16 is, what you think about 16 is it's too corporate now, but it's still really fun to watch. And I just love this stretch. I love from, Torrey to Pebble to Phoenix back to Riviera. It's like my favorite 4 weeks of the year, back to back to back. And as a West Coast guy, I love these tournaments. I love these tracks. And this is a deep field, which means that we can get some cheap guys. Last week we saw a lot of cheap guys were really tough, but as the fields get better, those kind of middle, second, third tier guys get pushed down a little bit. You look at some of the names we had in the 9,000s last week compared to like Xander Schauffele and Jordan Spieth this week in the 9,000. So you can just see when you get those elite guys, everybody get pushed down a little bit. You can kind of play different lineups. Last week was hard to get stars and scrubs. If you want to do it this week, there's a lot more options. Yeah,
only 132 players in the field, so you got to get your 6 of 6, I think, this week too.
And we're back to a 36-hole cut too, which is nice. It's just kind of just back to regular golf this week.
Yep, that's right. One course, no showdown play in Monterey Peninsula, of course. Although that didn't quite work. Power just kind of blew that up a little bit, actually, because Seamus Power actually dominated at Spyglass and Pebble, and then fell apart at Monterey, which is weird. But
there's a difference between MPCC and MPCC with a lead on the weekend, which was
that's also a very
big
good
factor.
Point.
Yeah,
for sure,
absolutely. All right, pretty strong, really strong field this week. In the 5-digit figures, 10,000 or more, we got John Rahm at 11.6, JT at 11,000, Cantlay at 10.7, Hideki at 10.4, Victor Hovland, the hottest golfer on any country that's not the U.S., or at least in tournaments played there so far, is at 10.2. He hasn't played in the U.S. in a while, so since Kapalua. So welcome to have him back. Scott, we'll start with you. Are you taking anybody in this tier?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a good tier. Like, there's no way to argue against Rahm except for the fact that he's 11.6. But I mean, he's 3 top 10s here, never worse than 16th. He's played 3 tournaments so far in 2022. He's 3rd, 14th, and 2nd. He's gained in tee to green and approach all 3 tournaments. He's so good. If you want to build it, you can. If you start with Rahm, the rest of your team you have an average of 7,700 to play with. So, you're kind of jumping down the 7s right away. I do like a lot of 7s, but I prefer a build with one of the 10s and one of the 9s. I think it works a little better. You get 2 of those guys. You kind of have the same average salary left after that. I'm going Victor Hovland this week. Just crazy hot around the world. He's won 3 of his last 5 tournaments. He was bad at TOC, but most of that was around the green. He just kind of struggled around the greens, but he won his last tournament in late January in Dubai, and then he was 4th in Abu Dhabi the week before. Just playing well. He won Mayakoba and Hero in November and December. Just playing great. And at 10-2, I like the discount from him off Rahm.
Yeah, Rahm certainly deserves to be the top billing and does so for a while, but especially here. I mean, Scott mentioned the course history. He's also an Arizona Sun Devil. We forget he went to university there, so who knows how many times he's played this course in his life. So Yeah, the stars and scrubs model is in play here. And if you're going to pick a star, I probably would do Rahm. I think Justin Thomas is tempting. I think his game is just coming together. He has that combination of power, and then when the rest of his game comes together, he can, he's a guy who can win by 6 potentially. There's only a few guys in pro golf who can win, and not only win but dominate while doing so. But I with Scott and kind of like I want to go down to the 9s because all these guys are great, but there's a few guys one tier down that I feel like belong in this tier, and then you can just start to build a more well-rounded team around it. So that's where I look.
If you want to play game theory, is anybody going to have Hideki this week?
I was just going to bring him up. 2-time winner here, guys. 2 times. He's won this year.
He's going to get so lost between those guys. Yeah. He's right between Cantlay and Hovland. Like, I just don't think anybody's going to click him this week. I think he's going to be like 5% rostered.
And Spieth is at 99. People are going to go use him. People are going to use Xander, who contended until 17 last year. And led until 17. Didn't contend. He led until then. Oh, man. I got to think. I think that's a interesting spot. I might have to build one around him there. All right.
Good idea. Yeah, I like it.
9,000s. A lot of good names here too, as befitting a strong field. Spieth at 99, Xander 97, Brooks at 94, Burns and Brooks won last year for crying out loud. Burns at 93, Berger 92, Scheffler 91, and Bubba Watson, who lost thanks to Harold Varner's eagle fringe putt last week in Saudi. He's at 9,000. Jeff Ritter, who do you like in this range?
Give me the tier. I mean, this is why I sort of, as much as I like Rahm, I say it a lot that I think he has a chance to be number 1 by a wide margin by the end of this year. This is a great tier. Schauffele, I mean, it's got to happen soon, right? He's going to win somewhere. We know he's a great fit for this course. Sooner or later, it's got to click. Koepka, to me, this feels like a discount. Is it the blonde hair? What am I missing? I feel he feels
cut last time he played.
He feels mispriced though. I think it's off a miscut, but I don't know. I'm very tempted to go with Koepka off this tier. I'm not scared of one miscut. I think this is one of his honey tracks. He's another guy that just loves desert golf, fits his game. And then Scottie Scheffler is another one that I think. It's coming, right? Like he's got the power game and again, just feels like it should fit this course. He's got a pretty decent history here. If I'm trying to pull that up, I had that up earlier. I thought I wrote it down. Scheffler was on my.
He was seventh last year. Missed the cut in 2020, but he's 7th last year.
Yeah. I don't care about 2020, but 7th place. He's a different guy now. A year later, I like him a lot as well this week.
Yeah,
We're aligned. I think Xander's gonna be popular, but 9,700. He was second here last year. He's played here 4 years, never been out of the top 17. Like just contending every time. I play him over Spieth this week. I go 97 over 99 there, and then I really like Scottie Scheffler too. I mean, he hit it so well at Farmers. Was that 2 weeks ago? He gained 5.9 tee to green, gained 5.7 approach. He just lost in putting. Otherwise, he might have been right there. He finished 20th, but just hit the ball so well. T7 here last year. I just feel I feel like it's got to be a win here at some point for Scheffler. He usually plays well in really good fields, so I do like him a lot this week. The interesting guy in this range is Daniel Berger at 9,200 because he has been fantastic striking the ball for about a year. He last lost tee to green in May of 2021. He last lost an approach in February of 2021. That was at this tournament last year. He did miss the cut last year, but he has 3 top 11s. And he's going to be severely under rostered because of the back last week and pulling out. People are going to be freaking out that he's going to withdraw after a round. Berger's one of the better players in the field at 9,200, but it's just how much you trust the back, because back injuries in golf are very scary.
Yeah. So let me answer your own question. How much do you trust the back?
I think I'm gonna put him in one lineup. I think that he's too good to not take a little bit of a shot. I probably won't be in my main lineup. I'd play Scheffler over him in main lineup just for a little bit of a safety there, just because I don't trust back issues. You hope maybe if he's getting some practice rounds today and tomorrow, maybe we'll get a little bit of word from him, maybe do an interview or something. And if it's bugging him, he'll pull out. But if he tees it up on Thursday, I have a pretty good you got to think he has a pretty good feel of playing over the weekend. At least he hopes to. And I'm going to throw him in one lineup.
All right. Let's move on to the 8,000s. But before we do that, quick note from our Blue Wire sponsors. Welcome back. We are discussing the WM Phoenix Open. Jeff Erickson here with Jeff Ritter and Scott Jenstad. We're moving on to the $8,000 tier in DraftKings. Tony Finau's at 89. Louis making his, I think this is his 2022 debut, if I'm not mistaken. He's at 88. Fitzpatrick's at 87. Webb Simpson's at 86. Adam Scott at 85. Seamus Power, 84. Corey Connors, 83. Russell Henley, 82. Tom Hoagie, fresh off the win, at 81. And Harris English at 8,000. Scott, how do you feel about this tier? And is there anybody you like here?
There's definitely some people I like. It's a good tier of solid names. I think a lot of people are going to go Webb Simpson after he won here in 2020, top 20 in the last 7 years. I like the price right above him. I like going back to Matthew Fitzpatrick. Played really solidly last week. Just, really consistently. He was never, making a full run. He was hot on Thursday, and then he just kind of ended up with, I think he finished T6 last week. First time playing here, but he was first and tied for second in his 2 Euro events to kind of end 2021. We talked about him a bunch last week. I like going back to him again. I think the price point is really good for him. If you like Corey Connors, this is a ball striking course. He's always a solid ball striker. Missed the last 2 cuts, and I think maybe that helps his rostership percentage probably be fairly low. He lost 4.5 strokes putting at Farmers, which really killed him. 17th here last year, so I think it's a pretty good spot for him. And then finally, I think Russell Henley is kind of overlooked. He just doesn't fit that big name in this tier, but he was 14th at Amex. He was 2nd at Sony his 2 starts here. He gained hugely tee to green and approach at Sony. He gained really well in Amex at the 2 rounds that we had shot track on. So just a guy that's striking the ball really well and at a price range where maybe not everybody jumps. If he's in the 7,000s, I think everybody would be like, oh, I really like Russell Henley. But there's so many names in the 8s. I think maybe he goes a little bit overlooked this week.
I love the Fitzpatrick pick. You sniped me there. I think Webb Simpson, I agree. That when I went through the board, that's the first name I circled was this is one of his honey tracks. He's not a top 10 player currently, but he's probably going to be very popular in daily fantasy like this. But he's very tempting in a one and done pool, which we'll get to later, I know. But Simpson's tempting. I agree with most of the guys you said. I also think, I don't know, Tom Hoagie, do we want to ride the wave there at that price? That still feels like a low price for a guy. I guess we're going to compare the two. I would take, if you talk about the Seamus Power week, I like the guy who comes in feeling great about himself versus the guy that kind of lost it on last weekend. So if you're comparing the two guys in the same tier, I would take Hoagie over Power.
Counterpoint.
Ride the momentum.
Counterpoint, Hoagie, played with the lead like in the last group a few weeks before, finished 2nd at the American Express. Maybe use that to take him to the next level. He got used to playing with the lead on the weekend. Power hasn't had that experience. Now he has. Maybe he won't spit the bit next time. And he didn't spit the bit. He finished 9th, but
he was it. I mean, for 36 holes, he was the guy.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. I have Power on my season-long team. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Adam Scott playing his first PGA tournament of the year?
I welcome him back to professional golf. He usually debuts about this time, and for him, it's all a build up to the Masters. So, like Louis, kind of curious to see how they look, but I'm not sure I'm in yet for daily fantasy. I want to see it.
Well, and he played in Dubai.
He did,
and he was top 10 in Dubai. So
right.
There was that. I'm talking he being Adam Scott.
Scott, yeah.
Louis. He played last week at Saudi, right?
I don't think Louis played in like 2.5 months anywhere.
I don't think so.
I think the stat I saw was 81 days without teeing up in a tournament.
We have a note said he was listed in the field for it. That's why I was asking that. But I didn't hear word one about him. He's been dealing with a back too. It's a little different with him. I'm going to stay away from Louis.
And Scott not only played Dubai, Scott played Abu Dhabi also. So he played in 2 tournaments in late January, and he finished top 10 in both of those.
Yeah. So that,
I'd
go skip over Louis. Yeah.
I welcome Scott to the United States for
there
2022
you go.
In that case.
Very good of you to welcome. Very welcoming you are, Mr. Jeff Ritter, but appreciate you for that. Let's move on to the 7,000s tier. Lot of names here. So again, I will frequently mention man of the podcast, Abe Answer, ball striker extraordinaire, except for this year, is only 7,900 this week. It shows how strong I think the field is. There's some interesting names here. I'm just going to throw it to you, Jeff, and let you kind of riff through. Let's just go 75 to 79. Is there any names you like there first before we go to the lower levels?
I like Keith Mitchell off this tier.
Yep. So is Len Hochberg. I saw that.
Does he? Okay, that doesn't surprise me. I think Mitchell, another guy who kind of like, it starts with power, but the rest of the game seems to be coming together. I believe he was top 15 in approach shots last week. In addition to, normally you'd expect him to do well off the tee, strokes gained off the tee, but maybe the full game is coming together. He's starting to just play himself up leaderboards more often, and this feels like the right course profile. So I flagged Mitchell as a player who's quietly on the rise, and maybe this is a week it's a new level.
Scott?
I like the 7,000s a lot this week. I'm going to play 2, 3, 4 guys in the 7,000 on most of my teams. First guy in this kind of top tier 7,000, I like Taylor Gooch a lot this week at 7,800. Finished 20th at Farmers. He missed the cut at Amex, but he gained a nice 5.3 tee to green at Farmers. If you take this field and you look at the top 24 rounds, he's 11th in the whole field in shot gain tee to green, 10th in approach, just hitting the ball really well. I like him at the price. He was a little bit higher earlier, and then now he's down in the 7,000. I really like that price. I think Maverick McNeely, he was kind of blah last week, but he still made 7 straight cuts, top 35 in his last 6 tournaments. You look at birdies or better gain, he's 9th in the field last 24 rounds. It's hard to skip Luke List. Like, I know he won his last tournament. You never want to go back to a guy who just won, but he's first in this whole field in tee to green. If you take the last 24 rounds, he's second in shots gained off the tee. Like, he's hitting the ball really legit well. If he just putts average, it's hard to see him not being in the mix. Just won at Farmers when he did. Gained 7.4 tee to green, a 5-point approach. He's hit the ball so well, but it's always hard to go to a guy after he just won his first tournament.
Yeah, it is. At least he took a week off after that, so maybe his phone isn't blowing up this week as much. That's Hoagie's job this week, and he's not the defending champ. The only negative I think about Gooch is course history. Hasn't played too well at this course, but he's a different player now too. But it's interesting.
What he needs to do, the Waste Management became the WM Open, and look how just streamlined that is. Gooch has to do the same. He should this week become TK Gooch, as we've discussed, rebrand himself, and is off.
There you go.
In this range, also very quietly, Siwoo Kim has been top 11 his last 2 tournaments. He was 11th at Farmers, 11th at the Amex. He's playing good golf, and he's someone that in this range not only can kind of make a top 30. Siwoo Kim's a guy that when he plays well can win a tournament too. So I think in the mid 7s, I think Siwoo's an interesting play too.
We got 3 guys playing their first tournament since their first win, and they're all within $600 of each other. We mentioned Luke List, but also Hoagie, and also Harold Varner, who had the walk-off win in Saudi, which is pretty darn incredible too. So he's there at 78, and jet lagged and all that. But man, he's got to be flying. Was that
his first win ever?
I think so.
At least I think you're right.
At this level, I mean, maybe as an amateur, I'm sure he's won, but it's a little different here.
That was an awesome putt, by the way.
It was incredible. He's like, I'm just hoping to get it close and force a playoff, and oh no, I've won. Yay. And Bubba was going crazy for him, even though he got beat. It was pretty cool to see.
The man with the best shoes in golf deserved to win, so I'm happy for that.
There you go. How about the cheaper, 7,400? We'll go all the way into the 6s here instead of listing them all out. Scott, we'll go to you first this time. Who do you like?
I'm gonna between 7 and 7.5. I'll get to the 6s in a second, but there's 3 names I do like down here. I really like Russell Knox this week. He's 7,300. He's 6th in the field in shots gained, ball striking the last 12 rounds. Playing really well recently. I kind of limited it down just who's playing really well in the last few tournaments. He was 33rd at Pebble, but gained in tee to green and approach really well in the 2 tracked rounds. He was 7th at Sony, gained really well in those metrics also. So just hitting the ball really well. He's a guy that when he's playing well can compete also. 7,200 is a good price for him. Back to my guy at 7,200. I like Keegan Bradley again. He was 12th at Sony, hit it well, gained 9 shots tee to green. He was only 65th, I think, at Farmers, but gained tee to green approach. He lost 4.1 putting, which is kind of the Keegan Bradley experience. So you have to, one of those guys, if he putts average, can be a top 15 guy this week. And then it's hard not to go back to Mito Pereira at the cheap price of 7,000. He struggled last week. He missed the cut. He was 25th at Farmers, though, and gained really well in the ball striking metrics. He was bad last week, though. He's 70, 71, 73. Did not play well at any point. I think he was 73 at Pebble over the weekend, too. But I think he's just a better player than the 7,000 price tag overall would tell you.
Mito and I are going to take a break this week. I went
Fair enough.
Pretty big. I went pretty big on him last week. I mean, it's a great price. Maybe this is the bounce back week, but I'm going to take a week off from Mito. Really like what you said about Keegan Bradley. He's becoming one of the podcast favorites. I also think Joel Damon is a guy that kind of fits the Keith Mitchell profile of like a power player where putting and around the green gets shaky, but another guy that just looks like he's starting to come together is Joel Damon. And I think that's a really good price for him. And this is potentially a very good course for him as well.
A lot of TV time last week too.
Yep.
It was kind of fun to see about that. I'm going to go with last time out bum Aaron Wise at 71. I still like the ball striking. I think, he'll be overlooked. People are like, I'm burned. I'm going to take a break from Aaron Wise. I think you can slide him in at 71, and I think he's going to be I think he'll come through with that there. If he's everyone's trendy breakout guy, good ball striker, this is a good course for him. I think I like him here.
And it was really only the one bad round. He played really well on Thursday. He was like -5, and then he just tanked on the South course. So I like that too, because I liked him going into that tournament too. And one bad round is not enough to get me off him.
Exactly. That's the way I look at it.
I like that call.
6,000s. I know we got a little bit of time crunch to get Jeff out of here on time. Let's race through these. Jeff, who do you like in the 6,000s?
Flag Nick Taylor is a guy who's just making cuts all over the place, it seems like. Not a lot of desert golf in Canada where he's from, but I still thought maybe at the price. He's got a consistent profile. I also think for a fun pick, James Hahn, it's 4 out of 5 cuts here, tends to pop up on television, dancing his way off the 17th green, but he's also had to dance his way into contention here a couple times. So at a very, very low price, I thought that could be worth taking a shot. And then one guy that I had on my season-long team and I dropped him, I think it's Steven Jaeger, even though it's spelled Stefan Jaeger. But, he came into this season with a winning profile and pedigree, and I had him on the season-long team until I dropped him a couple weeks ago. But he's reached bottom of the barrel status now on DFS. And I just think he's a guy that I felt like was going to pop up somewhere this year. Maybe this is the week he makes a cut and starts putting it together.
Scott?
Yeah, 3 names I'm looking at down here, and it's wild. Usually in the 6,000, there's so many, we don't hit the same guy, but I kind of bumped on Nick Taylor also. He's played 3 events in 2022. Jeff mentioned the making cuts, but not only that, but 3 top 35s. He gained tee to green and approach in all 3 tournaments so far, so 6,800 I think is a good price there. Dropping down a low way, I think that Sepp Straka is interesting at 6,400, really cheap. Again, 3 events in 2020, 3 made cuts. You got to like that, making cuts in this range is kind of all you want. Finished 16th at Farmers, a really tough course. He gained 5.8 tee to green there, so hitting the ball well. Did miss the cut here the last couple of years, but I just like how he's playing right now. And then thirdly, kind of an old name, old friend, Adam Hadwin at 6,900. Missed the cut at Torrey. I think that course is probably too long for him anyway, but the other 2 tournaments he's played in 2022, both of them were top 25s, and he was 16th last week at Pebble, so playing well right now, and a guy who, used to be a really, really good player, is kind of taking a step back, but I like the fact that he's playing well right now, and I think he kind of fits here for a made cut in a top 25.
I can't believe Jeff let Sepp Straka reference go by there. I'm just very disappointed.
He's priced below Kuchar this week, I noticed, which for a long time last year it was reversed, but the protege once again is behind the master.
I don't know. Matt Kuchar could be the American Sepp Straka as far as I'm concerned.
The backdoor top 10 will be open on Sunday, as it always is.
Boy, did Kuchar love to do that over the years.
Let's talk from our betting sheet here. Let's take a quick look at some of the guys I want. It's funny, even with this loaded field, Rahm is only plus 750. It's pretty amazing to me. But at least according to FanDuel with RotoWire's, if you go to RotoWire's sports betting page, you can pull up an option there where they get you the best odds per player. And so sometimes it's FanDuel, sometimes it's DraftKings. It's a really good option. You can check out rotowire.com/free, get your free 10-day trial. Go to the RotoWire and you go to the golf page and the sports betting tab. You can see all those odds. There's some good stuff there to help you maybe save some time to find a better deal there. Guys, who do we like on our betting sheet? Jeff, how about you first?
So I was we got to see if we have the SI Sportsbook in the RotoWire tab, but we'll check that out. But I like Brooks Koepka, 33-1 for the defending champ. I know he missed a cut last time, but this is one of those tracks that's a non-major that still registers on the Brooks Koepka give a crap meter. And as evidenced by his win last year, it's tough to repeat, but he loves the desert golf. And I think those are pretty great odds for Brooks. So I would get in on Keith Mitchell. I mentioned him earlier, but let's see, what do we, about 60-1. Yeah, 66-1 on SI. I love that. And where is Webb Simpson? He's too low in DraftKings. That means he's probably going to be too low in Yeah, 40-1. I'm in there too.
Yeah, best I see is points bet at 40-1 on him. Scott, who's on your betting sheet?
Tough, because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take anybody in the top tier. I think the prices. I mean, I love Rahm and Thomas and Hideki, but I think the prices are too low. So I'm going to take two guys in the second tier and skip the third tier. So I'm going to go Xander at 20-1 and Scheffler at 22-1. I like both those prices. I think both those guys have a really good shot to compete and maybe win this tournament. Then I'm going to drop down to kind of the fourth or fifth tier. There's three guys at 50 I like. Probably can only take two. So I'm going to go Taylor Gooch at 50 and Matthew Fitzpatrick at 50 also. I think both of those are really good numbers. Corey Connor's in there at 50 also, but I think I'm going to go Gooch and Fitzpatrick instead of them. Then I'm going to drop back and go over 100 and play a few darts. I like Russell Knox at 150-1. Keegan at 130-1 and Siwoo Kim at 100-1. A couple bucks on those as some darts, and hope you get a runner on Sunday and make some money before the Super Bowl starts.
I don't know. I just see I see marquee winner this week. There's just too many stars in this field for a hoagie effect. But I like all of those long shot picks. But to me, I just kind of cut it off at Mitchell at 66-1 and went back up the board.
I don't think that's a problem at all. I do like some of the 40s and 50s and a couple of 20s also. So that's you're right. It's usually a big name guy wins this thing though.
Yeah, there are, and it's the last time Ricky Fowler won too. While we're at it there, and
you always have to stick one Ricky Fowler jab in there, don't you?
No, it wasn't really a jab. Just this is a good course for him. It's also I can make the Johnny Miller jab. It's also the last place where Johnny Miller did a broadcast too. Quit after the third round. Not quit, but he announced that he retired after that unplanned, not like some abrupt quit. But anyways, moving on. One and done. Let's go Scott first. Who do you got?
Yeah, last week I had a top 20, but not really making enough money to make a big difference. So I need to hit something here. So I'm going to go with a big name guy. I think I agree with Jeff that a big name guy wins this week. I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm going to play Xander Schauffele in my one and done this week. I think this is the year he gets it done at Phoenix.
Yeah. Scott, I'm just going to say right now, I'm on board with you. I'm doing that too. I won't be different. I'll take Xander also.
All right. I like it. Let's get a win.
I am going to go with Scottie Scheffler to break through, and I'm going to parlay it with the Rams. You're welcome again.
Ooh, I hope you lose. Boo earns. I just said, but that's all right. That's all good. You don't want me. We don't want you doing football picks. You don't want me doing one and done picks. So I'm sorry, Scott. But although I did make the cut this week, so I got that going for me, which is nice. That's going to wrap up Gaming Golf for this week. Thanks everybody for listening to us. Please send us feedback. Send us more of what you want to hear, what you want us to cover. If there's anything we're not covering that you want us to hit, let us know. That'll do it for today. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.